Hello my friends! In this video I'm going to learn you more about Stoicism and how to become a Stoic, where it comes from and what it is exactly. So yeah, stick around. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that was popularized by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. This guy. And Marcus Aurelius, despite being a powerful man, he had a lot of money, he was head of almost the entire world at the time because the Roman Empire was huge. So he remained humble and true and virtuous. That it doesn't happen very often. A lot of time when people get power, they abuse it and they do bad things with it. But Marcus Aurelius did not. He has a book that is a collection of his memoirs called Meditations. And in this book he talks about his daily life, what he did to remain virtuous and remain humble, and how he overcome his hardships, which we all have eventually. So I think it's a very interesting book and I really recommend it if you want to learn more about philosophy, Stoicism. It's pretty easy to read, it's not too philosophical, so I'll put a link in the description below. And now, so Stoicism. First of all, why should you use Stoicism? Why? Well, because it might help you with your life, it might bring balance, it might remove some stress, it might remove some unbalances from your life. And if you think that just a philosophy will remove all the problems from your life and remove all the anxious and all the stress, well, that's not really true. It might help you, but in the end, it's you who's gonna have to remove all those bad things from your life. Because a lot of times people, when they experience problems in their life, they think that the future will solve all of their problems, but that's the problem exactly. They think that something outside of them will solve all the problems, which it's not a very good thing to do because we cannot always control the future. Maybe something really bad is going to happen to you in the future and then you're going to be devastated and going to be very lost. And that's why it's not good to rely on the future to solve your problem. It's like chasing the horizon, you will never catch it. It's always going to be just out of reach, which is not very nice for you in the end. So in Stoicism you have two basic concepts. You have the internal and the external. The internal is everything that is your mindset, how you see things, how you perceive things, how you put things into perspective, your thought. That's the internal aspect. Then you also have the external aspect. And the external aspect is more of like everything outside of you that you cannot control, that is beyond of your control. Like the weather, death, you cannot control these things, so you just have to deal with them. And so the only way to deal with these things is by controlling what is internal, your thoughts. Because nothing is inherently good or bad. The only thing that decides this is how you think about them, how you see them, how you put them into perspective. Your mind can be a very powerful tool or a very destructive tool. If you clutter your mind with negative thoughts and with negative things and emotions, then it can be very destructive. And this is a quote from the book from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and the quote goes like this: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." So this is like the essence of Stoicism, that your mind is one of the only things in life that we have control over. So, think about that. And so in Stoicism, it's also based on like 4 pillars, 4 aspects as well, like extra. So the 4 aspects are courage, wisdom, temperance and justice. These 4 things are like basis of Stoicism as well. So you have courage, and that is to face all the challenges in life head on and to not back down. Then you have temperance, which means to live your life in moderation and to not be too indulgent in your pleasures or desires or outside forces, and to just stay humble. You also have wisdom. This is to acquire knowledge and to use it to the best of your ability. And then last but not least, justice. Treat other people like you want to be treated. Even your enemies, treat them all with respect. So these 4 aspects, if you follow these, they might help you on your journey through your life, which is a good thing to live by. Virtues, morals. You can also make your own morals, but you have the widely known morals like friendship and love and all these things. So yeah, just stick by them if you can. Now I can also give you an example of something a Stoic might encounter. Probably not, but this is a very extreme example, but you'll see what I mean. So say your nice house got crushed by a meteorite, okay? This was beyond your control. So your house is crushed, destroyed, pile of rubble. And a normal person will probably cry and be sad or angry for weeks or months or even years. And, they won't reach a lot of their goals because they're devastated. Now a Stoic, what he might do, he might, his house got destroyed and he might accept this because he saw this was beyond my control. I cannot help this. It happened. He will move on, he will build a new house. he will live somewhere else, he will do something. Which, you know, it's a good thing to look at this, because if you're angry, sad, or influenced by negative emotion, by something that happened to you in your life, it's not going to help you. Negative emotions are not that useful. So what a Stoic might do is he might discard them, or like not be bothered by them, you know? He might ignore those emotions because he sees that they're no use. For example, if it's raining and you're angry or sad, you know, you'll feel angry and sad and it's still raining, which is bad. But if you're happy that it's raining, at least you'll be happy, which is better than just being sad. So yeah, that's a nice way of looking at things, you know? Because in Stoicism, you want to be free of things, okay? You want to be free of materialistic things, you want to be free of negative emotions, because if you're bound to these emotions and they control you, then you're not free at all. Even with items, if you can't live without a lot of money, or you can't live without all of, you know, your phone for a while, then your phone has control over you and not the way around, which is not what you want to do. And Stoicism gets a lot of criticism as well sometimes, because people think because you're a Stoic, you do not feel emotions, you're a robot, you know? But I disagree. It's all about moderation, you know? If you do something and you do it too much and it has control over you, then you're not living in moderation anymore, you know? You're not humble, you're being controlled, you have been consumed by a desire or by a power. But of course, we should do all the things in life that make us happy. It does not mean that we cannot enjoy a nice cup of coffee if we're a Stoic, or we can enjoy a good book, or we can enjoy a nice walk. Of course we can enjoy these things, but it's all in moderation. Stoicism basically says that putting too much emphasis within thought and emotion on the pursuit of evil and desire of pleasure robs your mind of peace and ultimately distracts you from living well. That's the quintessential thing of Stoicism. Do everything in moderation. Do not put too much emphasis on things in life and you'll be happy. Find a balance for you. So it's a great exercise for a Stoic to abandon all the things he depends upon for a while and to see how much he has grown or how strong he is as a Stoic or as a person. And now another concept of Stoicism that's also pretty famous is called Memento Mori. And this basically means that remember you must die. That's what it means in Latin. So it sounds pretty grim, remember you must die, but if you think about it, it makes sense, because if you remember you will die on a regular basis, then you will not take every moment for granted. You will live life to the fullest, you will do things that make you happy, you will follow your dreams and pursue things and do things that has to be done now. You will stop procrastinating these things and, you know, spend more time with family and friends and see the value of life as well. As opposing to a person who doesn't do this, you know, a person who thinks, well, if I don't do something today, I'll do it tomorrow, tomorrow I have another day. I can postpone things, I have time. Well, you do not. That's the problem. You know, we always think we have more time, but time is leaving us as we speak. You know, it's not unlimited. So remembering that you will die eventually is very powerful. It will make you live a happier life, put more thought and more emphasis on the things that really make you happy. So it's a really nice exercise as well to just regularly think about that your life is not endless. It will end somewhere sooner or later, which, you know, it's just true. And we must all accept death. And okay, so before I end the video, I want to tell you something. Stoicism is very hard, okay? No one is a perfect Stoic, no one is perfect at anything. We all have our moments where emotion takes the best of us, you know, where sadness or anger control us and we cannot really control our actions much. All we can do is control us to the best of our ability, try and live a moderate life, try and live a life that where we remain humble, follow our dreams, do things that make us happy, but in essence find a balance. Especially in a world where we are, you know, judged by how many likes we get, how much money we make or how we look, and where people on social media, like I am doing right now, tell you how to live your life. They tell you, well, if you don't do this, your life is bad, your life is not perfect. And I'm not telling you your life is perfect if you do Stoicism, of course it won't be. But Stoicism might help you. You know, it might be a compass that guides you through the hardest of storms. It's a way to see things clearly. It can give you a clear vision of where you want to go and what you want to become. Because the world has made it very easy for us to see, well, I can be happy if I don't have the latest gadgets, if I don't have all this money, if I don't have all these likes. But that's not true. The world can be a very mean place, and it's chaos sometimes, but it can also be a very beautiful place if you can just find the beauty. So if you can take anything away from this video and your life becomes 1% better, then my goal has succeeded, you know. That's all I can do for you today. So I hope I'm back next week. If you like the video, like and subscribe. You're always welcome. Send me a message if you have a problem with something. I'll be there for you, man. See you next week.